we can kind of transition from here. I mean, speaking of Wilt records, there's another one that might fall tonight,
Hey,
which is the most 20-point games in a row. Um, yeah, Shea has a chance to pass Wilt. I think this streak is pretty insane to me as well. Like, and we can talk about the streak and also the game before where, he kind of made a statement game against Denver. I think the one where he tied it. Like, I think he had 35 points, like 15 assists, zero turnovers, basically hits like two game winners to ice that game. Um, to me, like as a Thunder fan, it kind of felt similar to like Russell Westbrook's MVP game in Denver. Like, I think that's the one where he beat Oscar Robertson's like triple double record, and then he like also hits the game winner to win the game. And it's kind of like that moment where like like damn, like this is the MVP. I truly felt like that Denver game was like that for Shea. Um, yeah, what were your guys' thoughts on that game and then the streak as well?
I think that game was really impressive. Like that was probably like his like kind of cornerstone game for this year. Like cemented him kind of as an MVP favorite in my opinion. Uh, I'm realizing more and more like he's very like kind of like an MJ style player, and that he's going to be like the best, most clutch like scorer on a great team, and that's just like the legacy he's going to have. I do think he could be like a top five guard just based on like what he's doing, and if he gets another MVP this year. But yeah, I mean that game especially was like I think a really defining moment in his season. Probably put him at like the top of the MVP rankings in my opinion.
I was just gonna say he's already like up there, and like he beat his like literally Jokic, who's like second in the MVP ranking. So it's like a head-to-head matchup, and I feel like that like makes his case. I just feel like the MVP race is over. Like if he makes a 65 like game limit, I think like it's already like shades decided. Plus like that game, like I just felt like he was just like I could see his like pure like scoring skills. I know he plays like defense too, but like I just felt like he was unstoppable. I know he does get a lot of free throws, but also I see him like creating his own shots. And I feel like that's what cements me that this year, like this is his like award, and I don't think else is getting that.
Yeah, it was kind of I think earlier in the season, a little bit of a toss up in some ways just because we didn't have as much data or consistency. I mean, obviously the Thunder started out really well, but I think now it's apparent that Jokic, ever since I think when he got injured, you know, days away, came back, still playing kind of like Jokic, but it's just not the same. It's not leading to the winning as much as it was before. And so I think it's pretty clear cut. I don't really see any other contenders. Like, of course, there's people that are in a conversation like Cade or people like that, but I just don't think it's to the point where it's leading to this like overarching team success to where you can make a case for him being an MVP. So I think it's Shay's, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I think like what was a little bit more impressive about this game too is like he's like okay, let's like if you look at Denver's like roster, like they're pretty much healthy outside of like Peyton Watson, I guess is like the only real guy like missing from their rotation. Like Shea is missing like Caruso, Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet, and J Dub. Like you could argue like that might be their closing lineup like for this game in the playoffs. So he's pretty much playing with like almost like all bench players or players like who might not even be closing in this game. So I think that's like another added piece that made that like dub super impressive for him. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think he in this game he kind of proved like yeah, I think he has a conversation for sure to like be like the best player in the world. At this point, like he's beat Jokic in a playoff series, like he's won the championship, he's outperformed Jokic in like the three times this year. They're 3-0 against him, and he's kind of looked like the better player each time. Um, Jokic, I think, has been great. I think on the Nuggets side, like I have maybe like a little bit of worries about like Cam Johnson. Um, like I just don't think he's as good of a player as like MPJ, sadly. Like I don't know, like maybe it'll still work out for him, but like he just seems to be a little bit more spotty and like I guess times you don't notice like he's not there. Like sometimes you'll notice that like it feels like Cam Johnson like isn't even playing. You're like, "Oh man, I forgot he was on this team." With MPJ, like at least he was kind of like a gunner. Like no matter what, like you still remember, like you still felt his presence in the game just because he's willing to chuck up shots and like be like that threat on the 3 point line. But Cam Johnson is like definitely more of like a role player type where he could fade in and out. But um, yeah, I mean it was a fun game to watch for sure.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Cam Johnson. Like, I'll admit, before the year, I thought he would maybe be a better fit for the Nuggets versus MPJ. Like, I thought I thought he had a better IQ, honestly. But he's just been like trash all year. I don't know. what's happened, but it's a really bad fit. I was definitely wrong about that. But yeah, I mean, the game was fire overall. Like, I didn't realize Shea didn't have all these guys playing with him, but the 15 assists and 0 turnovers, I think, is what impressed me the most. Like, I don't know who he really got those assists to, but that was like something I haven't really seen from his game a lot. The turnovers for sure, but I haven't like limiting his turnovers definitely, but I haven't seen a lot of assists really. But doing it with this cast is, I think, especially impressive. So,
Yeah, it's a lot of like Jared McCain and AJ Mitchell and all these other guys. But
oh yeah, AJ's back.
yeah, AJ was finally back, but yeah, I don't know. Like I think I think I forget who mentioned it, but I think we were mentioning like kind of like the other candidates for MVP. Like I think Cade would have a pretty good argument. The only problem is he averages like only 25 points per game. I feel like that's a little bit too less for MVP in like this day and age. I feel like you got to get to like 28 or 29. Um like I think like I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I feel like there's definitely like some sort of I don't know how to put this, but it's like some sort of like what like I think the media wants there to be like an American player who can like challenge these guys and like rise up to
Mm.
MVP. Like you kind of see a lot of like Jalen Brown hype too. Like, bro, today I literally watched this segment on like ESPN where like Stephen A. Smith is going and he's talking about Jalen Brown like playing against the Thunder. He's like, "Yo, Jalen Brown got to show up." And he's like, "If he shows up, like I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt for MVP." And he's like talking about how he's like a nice person and all this other stuff. I'm
Oh
like,
my
bro, come
God.
on, like you can just tell like these people just want like some American guy to like win MVP. I don't think it'll happen, but like I think like that thing is there for sure for like maybe next year for someone else to win.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched Stephen A in a long time, so I'm not surprised to see that it's pretty much more of the same or even slightly worse of quality than before.
I mean, the only case that can make it is like because like I know like OKC has like one of the toughest like schedule remaining, and they're only like 2 games away from like I guess like the Spurs and the Pistons. So like they might drop from like number one seed overall or like number one seed in the West. It's still possible it's up there, but I still feel like Shea has like too much of a case, even if he doesn't has the one seed overall. If like Wemby was close in like points, maybe if he had like 28 points and he was second, and then he gets the best player on the best team title, then yeah, I see it. But like Wemby's still like I think 4 or 5 on the list currently, and he's only averaging like 23 points. So yeah,
Yeah, 23 is too low. Even as good as the defender as you are, like I feel like 23 is too low.
I'm just
Yeah.
surprised Shea's not even leading the league. Apparently, Luka's getting 32 points a game. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, Luca, I think he definitely had like a crazy start to the year. I remember like where he was just dropping a lot of points. I feel like he's kind of like evened out, but um yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Lakers just don't win enough, honestly, for him to get that. Like, there's no way, unless it's like some anomaly year. Like, I feel like it's pretty hard to get it from like a 4 or 5 seed type.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think Shea's case is way too strong. Like the best team, he's like hyper efficient, doesn't turn the ball over. Like I don't know, there's really no like holes in his game that you can point to. With these other guys like Cade, his efficiency is always kind of like questionable. I think Jalen Brown has like some pretty decent help on his team with Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, and now like JT coming back. So I think it's
Yeah.
just clear cut, probably going to be Shea again. These other guys are not ready yet to take that step.